Alrighty. Y'all gotta let me know if you can hear me, because I'm not exactly the best with the whole stream setup. It's just your boy, Zach Savage here. Badaki is with his fiance today. What's up, everybody? Do me a favor. If you want a question answered, just drop as much information as possible. I'm gonna make sure and get through as many as possible for you. I see one at the very top. It's just I can't actually read it. So if you have pasted your questions, just paste them again. I'm gonna help you out today. It is midday here in Sydney, Australia. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are in the world. Gonna go live for about an hour and a half and just answer as many questions as possible for you guys. Wahab Ali, could you please put your question in again, and then someone above you as well? I'm so sorry, bro. For some reason with YouTube, when you put up a pinned comment, it makes it impossible to see the comments above. So if you could paste your questions again, that would be much, much appreciated. What's up, Jags fan? The question is, trade Godwin and Crowder for A.J. Brown, PPR, and you've already made the playoffs. All right, so you've got the playoffs secure. Godwin's interesting, hey, because Godwin is becoming more and more reliable despite last week with the concerns of A.J. Brown, A.B., Antonio Brown. So that's a really, really interesting one. Let me just quickly look at A.J. Brown's rest of season schedule. Crowder is it's irrelevant to get that upgrade. Let me just quickly look at both of their rest of season schedules, because that's going to, especially in the playoffs, that's really going to matter for you more than anything, because Godwin and A.J. Brown are kind of a wash right now. So A.J. gets Jacksonville, Pittsburgh week 15, San Francisco week 16, Miami week 17. So that's not a bad schedule at all. Godwin gets New Orleans, Carolina, Jets. Yeah, I would do that trade. I would do that trade to get A.J. Brown. Still believe in A.J. Brown. So, yeah, Jags fan, I will pull off that trade, especially if you don't need Crowder and you've already got playoff secure. What's up, JC Vader? Hello, half PPR, Pollard, Collins, or Miles Sanders. Man, the Miles Sanders thing is so weird. And I know that he's back, but are they really going to utilize him? Are they really going to be up in this game? Are they going to be able to establish the run? Your other options are Alex Collins and Tony Pollard. Alex Collins is still dealing with that injury. He goes up against Arizona, and Tony Pollard goes up against Kansas City. Let me just check a quick update on Alex Collins, because I know he was struggling with practices this week. So I just want to check up on him really quickly and see how his... So he draws full practice session. He practiced in full. It feels like Collins probably has the more solidified role. So I would slightly lean Alex Collins, although I wouldn't be upset if you did Pollard, but I would roll out Collins. I would have very low expectations for both of them, just being honest. What's up? Ali says, do I start Terry McLaurin, Mike Williams, or Michael Gallup? It's a 10-team PPR. I'm leaning towards Mike Williams because no Minka, no Joe Hayden for the Steelers, and Keenan said they got to get the ball to him. Okay. I'm probably going to still be starting Terry McLaurin here. We have a saying here, start your stars. Terry McLaurin is getting targets out of his ass. I mean, this dude cannot keep up with the amount of targets that he's getting, which is great for fantasy. It's great that Keenan says that they want to get him the ball. I'm sure they've wanted to get him the ball the entire time. It's just not worked. And slowly you can see teams start to game plan around how to stop Mike Williams. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it's a trend. The Chargers have started struggling, but when did they start struggling? Ever since Mike Williams was getting taken out of the game plan. So it makes sense for teams to continually do that to the Chargers. I'm going to go Terry. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but Terry's guaranteed targets, and yeah, I'm not going to sit Terry. It's really hard, because any of these guys could have the better game. It's truly difficult. I'm just not going to sit Terry McLaurin. You're 4-6 and need to win badly. I feel like Mike is the most risky of them all, of all those starts, to be honest. What I would say is Terry, going up against Gilmore probably. It's going to be hard, but I'm still going to start him because of the targets he'll get. Trade Herbert for Kyler. Yes. Yes, I would do that. Unless you need, a quarterback, unless you're fighting for the playoffs, because Herbert's already had his bye week and Kyler still has his bye. We're uncertain of the injury. But yes, if you're looking like you're going to make the playoffs, then I would go for Kyler for sure. Flex 1, full PPR. What's up, Ed Mack? Hope you're having a good day. Pittman, Gibson, or Mark Ingram. Pittman's matchup, I don't love this week. He's going up against Buffalo, and that is not a defense that you want to play around with. Your other options are Gibson or Mark Ingram. Gibson goes up against Carolina. I don't love that either. Am I really going to tell you to start Mark Ingram? I can't believe I might do this. Mark Ingram, Gibson. Look, as much as the matchup looks terrible for Antonio Gibson, he is the one player of all of them who has the best chance to get into the end zone this week. I would normally say Pittman, but the matchup against Buffalo I want to avoid at all costs. So I'm going Gibson there. I'm going to get to your question, Trey and Ed, and keep dropping your questions over here on YouTube. We got a couple questions on Twitch. Epic, what's up? Said, hey, I got Dak, CMC, Eckler, Hill, Lamb, Kelsey, JT, Bass, and Bills. It's Tamian, by the way. What's up, Tamian? It's a good squad, my guy. IBO, this question's random, but should you be washing chicken wings before air frying them? I be hearing people say yes and no. Yeah, that's the real question, isn't it, my guy? Should you be washing chicken wings before air frying them? No, I don't think so. I've never heard of anyone washing chicken wings though. So I could be the wrong person to ask, but no, I don't think you do, bro. I wouldn't do that. All right, back on YouTube. Trey says Justin Fields versus Baltimore or T. Huntley, assuming Jackson is out, versus Chicago. I would go Justin Fields. I actually really like Fields going forward, guys. And in Dynasty, if you could somehow still get Justin Fields, jump on that. Fields has shown real progression in the NFL. He has learned from his mistakes. He's going to continue to learn from mistakes that he's going to make. But what I love about him is that he has trusted himself on the ground lately. He's had like 150 yards in the last 2 games, and I think around 15 rushing attempts. So it feels like he's starting to figure out a couple things. Like, hey, I don't actually need to force this. I can run. I am a 4.3 40. In his last 2 games versus Pittsburgh and San Francisco, he's had 148 rushing yards on 18 attempts. One of those was a touchdown. So I like Fields this week. I'm okay to start him. I really, really like his upside. And I'm actually okay to sell an upside quarterback like a superstar and ride Justin Fields out. Ed Mack, full PPR, Dan Arnold or Hawkinson? Yeah, I'm going Arnold. I've been obsessed with Arnold, and I think people are starting to catch up. Not that I'm a fantasy god or anything, but I've been obsessed with Dan Arnold. I've been following the trends since he got traded. He got traded for a high draft capital player, C.J. Henderson, I believe, who cost the Jags a first-round pick. So Arnold was always going to be a big part of that offense. Now they're just figuring it out, and he's been the most reliant player on their team. He's averaging like 50-plus yards a game. He's averaging like 7 targets. So, yeah, I would go Dan Arnold. Which one of the RBs do I sit? What's up, Wahab? JT, Zeke, Mixon, or Fournette? Who are you going to sit? Man, that is tough. JT, Zeke, Mixon, or Fournette? I don't think you can sit JT. I don't think you can sit Zeke. I don't think you can sit Mixon. I don't think you can sit Fournette. Oh, my God. The fact that you're in that position, you're doing great. I would suggest maybe to trade one of these guys to upgrade at a different position, to be honest, because you are sitting pretty, my guy. If I had to choose one, it would be Fournette. There is a scenario that he gets, less work than the other guys. So JT worries me a little bit, but you can't sit JT with the talent. That's a hard one. Ed Mac, my dog. Midnight. Do you like Carr rest of season, or should I pursue another quarterback via trade? I like Carr rest of season. If it's a one quarterback league, I think you can ride him. He's gonna have up and down weeks. I mean, that's just the reality of fantasy. You know, players are gonna have up and down weeks, and that's the same with Derek Carr. But yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with him rest of season. He has a pretty good schedule. What's interesting is this offense looks very different after Henry Ruggs is gone. I think Ruggs actually meant to this offense a lot more than we realize. But I'm okay with Carr rest of season. Like I'm not okay with you giving up other depth or talent in different positions to upgrade a quarterback. Do you know what I mean? I would suggest if Justin Fields is on your waivers, go pick him up if it's a one quarterback league. But Aki says he washes his chicken. I don't know what's wrong with you. Wahab, I wish I was doing great on 4-6. That's on, bro. I feel that pain. I feel that I have such a good team in one league, and I'm like 3-7. Just doesn't work out sometimes. Keep dropping your questions, guys. I'm gonna switch over to Twitch here. Epic. So my bench was really good too. So I gave it to the 2 worst in the league. I have some bench spaces now. Who should I stash on IR or healthy? I see you like Justin Fields. I'm definitely okay to stash Justin Fields. If you have Dak, you're probably never starting him. But he could become a trade piece if he continues his projections or trajectory. You know. Sit 4. It's second half of the season, so he might see less. What are you referring to when you say sit 4? I don't know what you... give me a little bit more information there, Epic. Yeah, Wahab, it's rough, man. It's rough. I feel in that league I have Najee, I have Joe Mixon, I have Aaron Rodgers, I have Justin Jefferson, Kyle Pitts, Rashad Bateman, and yeah, somehow I'm like 3-7. Sit Fournette, other guy's question. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was just confused by the question. Drop your questions, guys. I'm here. There's no questions. I'm chilling. I'm gonna look at some news though. Let's look at some of the latest news here. Let's see what's happening. Obviously, the Amari Cooper news is massive, and if you guys have Michael Gallup, that you should feel very, very confident starting Michael Gallup this week. All right, we got a question from Evan Harrison. What's up, my G? Start 2, DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks, Josh Jacobs. PPR, I need to fill my last wide receiver slot and a flex. Jacobs is weird, man. Jacobs is weird because the talent's there, but he's just up and down, and they're not really trusting him as much as you would want them to trust him. They go up against Cincinnati, which is a pretty good defense against the run. Brandon Cooks should get back on track versus Tennessee. Like, you would think that would happen. Whereas Jacobs might struggle this week. So I'm going to start both of the wide receivers, and I'm going to sit Josh Jacobs if it was me. Especially because it's PPR, and in my flex spot, I always want to have more opportunities for receptions. Cooks and Moore both have more opportunities to get receptions than Josh Jacobs, so that's why I would prioritize that. Midnight, 201, need to Gaskin, Wilson Jr., Devonta Smith. It's standard scoring. That is very important to know because that will change it. Devonta's hard, man, because I really think this is going to be a bad week for Devonta Smith. I believe that it's going to be Lattimore covering him. And the volume's not there. I mean, he had a great game last week, but it's not as if the volume was there. I think I'm going to go Gaskin and Wilson. Let me double check, though. Have we heard more news about Elijah Mitchell? Let me find out quickly. Elijah Mitchell, doubtful. So, yeah, I believe Jeff's probably going to be the guy. My name's Jeff. So I would sit Devonta there. It's a tough one. So you really wouldn't start Gallup without Amari over Terry. It's definitely something that you can consider, for sure. You can definitely consider that. You know, there is a scenario where Dalton Schultz becomes more involved. There are so many options in Dallas. I think Gallup's going to have a good game, and you should feel confident in him. But when I think about who I want to start, I think who has the easiest pathway to targets. In Dallas, it's CD, it's Dalton Schultz, it's Zeke, it's Pollard. I mean, they've got their other wide receivers involved too. In Washington, it's Terry. That's it. So that's how I would think about it. But I wouldn't be opposed to you starting Gallup over Terry. That's just my process when I think about that. Wait, so who else do I stash? Maybe wide receiver? Epic, give me names that are on your waiver wire, and I can help choose one of them for you. That would be easy. Motive Jag, what's up? Dearness Johnson or CEH for my PPR flex? Man, I'll tell you what, that one's hard because Dearness is going against a really, really bad run defense. I would actually go Dearness here. I don't know what Clyde's going to look like in week 1 back. Is he going to have the same role? Is it going to be Darrell Williams' backfield? These are all questions that I've been having pretty much since Darrell Williams started dominating. So I'm going to go Dearness. I like the matchup better, but it's close, man. Mitchell's doubtful. I agree that Curtis is coming from those targets. Curtis has got to stay healthy. As a Washington fan, I still like Curtis. I still believe in Curtis. The issue isn't Curtis's talent. It's that growing injury. And Rivera said they're going to be very, very strict with his snap count. So that does worry me starting him. But I like him as a pickup. I definitely like Curtis Samuel as a guy to keep on your radar. If he's available on your waivers and you have a free spot, he's definitely a good one to kind of just put there. Hey, Grant, thanks so much for the follow over there on Twitch. Means a lot, my guy. Goddard or Hawkinson? What's up, Rolando? Drop a like, guys, if you don't mind. Answering all your questions here. Goddard or Hawkinson? Look, despite Hawkinson's up and down roller coaster, I'm still gonna go with TJ. I know it's a backup tight end or a backup quarterback probably coming in, but Goddard just does not get the guaranteed targets. And even if he's like healthy from that concussion, because we don't know if he's gonna play, I would be hesitant to start Dallas Goedert this week. So he's cleared for week 11, but still, I don't like the matchup. So I would actually lean towards Hawkinson there. I know it's hard. Man, don't watch that game, though. Don't watch the Lions game. You start Hawkinson, and then you don't watch the game because that would be just torture. I literally said to Badaki last week, I was like, honestly, I feel like hell is the Steelers-Lions game. I said this in a group chat. I was like, hell is literally watching the Steelers versus Lions in overtime on repeat. That is what hell will be like. Don't watch that game. Evan, do we think Monty is a strong start this week also? I like Monty this week. I think it's quite clear that he was the guy when he came back from his injury. I told a lot of people we have trade targets every week on the channel, on YouTube, and on our podcast. He was my trade target like 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks in a row, because I wanted to make sure that his rest of season schedule is so good. He's the guy. So yeah, Monty is a good start this week for sure. Washington fan, didn't think there were many left. Yeah, midnight. We are small, but we are strong. Washington, I'm just ready for the rebrand at this point. Like, the season's chalked. It doesn't look good. I'm just ready for a rebrand. And we just need a freaking quarterback, dude. I've had, like, since being born, I believe Washington's had, like, 30 to 40 starting quarterback changes. It's just hell. Over here on Twitch, thanks again for the follow, Grant. Here's your question. Should I trade DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, and DeAndre Hopkins for Najee Harris, Alvin Kamara, and Brandon Ayuk? I already have Diggs and JJ at my wide receivers. No, I don't think you should do this, and I'll tell you why. I don't know what's going on with Alvin Kamara's knee. He's back, and then he's gone. The fact that he came back to practice, and then he didn't practice the next day, that's very concerning for me. Alvin Kamara should definitely be considered, and he's already been ruled out. And it's an ankle injury, but he's been dealing with a knee injury. Yeah, Kamara is not someone that I want to rely on right now. I don't know how long this injury is going to take. So, honestly, Grant, if I'm you, I would much rather have DeAndre Swift. Keenan Allen, I know, Grant, I have Keenan Allen in quite a few leagues. Do not undervalue Keenan Allen. I know the first half of the year wasn't great, but Second half of the year, he's already looking much stronger, and the schedule is so good for Keenan. When D-Hop gets back healthy, no, you can't make that trade. No, you can't. You cannot be making trades for players who are injured. So I would much rather prefer the DeAndre Swift and Keenan Allen side. I'm making 2, so I'm worried about postseason. I get that. There's better trades out there for you than that. You don't want to be trading for an injured guy. I mean, last thing you want to do is trade for an injured player, and then it ruins this 8-2 great streak that you've been having. So no, I wouldn't do that. Harris, McKissick, Pollard, Hubbard, Drake, Moss are the RBs. Epic, is this the RBs that are on your waiver wire? Because I would probably pick up Damian Harris. Got you, Grant. Thanks for following. Appreciate you, my guy. Back on YouTube. Rolando says, Kadarius Toney or Corey Davis? Do you have a Russian roulette gun? Could you just put 2 bullets in a gun and swing it, almost like a baby reveal? One is green, the other is blue, and when you shoot it, it's just one of those colors, because that's how you're going to have to decide this. No, let me give you some actual insight here. Kadarius Toney versus Tampa Bay. Corey Davis is versus Miami. Corey Davis has, I believe, Joe Flacco starting. My heart leans towards Corey Davis, but there's something that happens with rookies after a bye week. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. It's something I've been studying actually this year and last year. Typically, rookies get bigger roles after bye weeks. So I'm curious to see if that's the case with Kadarius Toney. What hurts Toney is that everyone's back healthy now. Probably Saquon will play even. So I would go Corey Davis there, but it's very, very close. It's very close. Yes, Rolando, you're not wrong there. Wahab, Washington needs to give Terry a better quarterback. Man, he deserves more respect than Taylor Heineke. I agree, man. As a Washington fan, you're singing the song of my people. Yeah. I like the Heineke story. It was obvious that Fitzpatrick and Heineke were never going to be the answer. I don't really love any of the quarterbacks out of this year's draft. It makes me frustrated that we made the playoffs last year. I know that sounds stupid, but like, we're 7-9. We would have had Justin Fields if we didn't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? So that's just our luck. We made the playoffs just to get one and done by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went on to win the Super Bowl. It's just, the one time we do something good, it actually hurts us. You know what I mean? So that's just the story of a Washington fan. Mark Hall, what's up, my guy? Pick 2, Keenan Allen, Swift, or Gallup. I'm going Allen and Swift. I do like Gallup this week, but I'm going to start my stars. Midnight 201. I lost count too. I'll never forgive them for keeping RG3 in the game. Yes, I know. That is just another example of Washington's poor execution, poor coaching staff, poor management. I mean, RG3 is the only time I can remember as a Washington fan that I was like super excited for our team. I remember watching that first game versus the Saints, RG3's debut, and I thought to myself, holy shit, we finally have a franchise quarterback. And I thought that throughout the entire year. And obviously the injury, he was never the same after that. Shoot, do we have any questions on Twitch that I might have missed? Sorry, guys. Let me just double check if there's any questions over on Twitch that I might have missed. Smith, Bourne, Myers, Mooney, Patrick. Sheesh, man. You've got a lot of good players on your waivers. I'd pick up Devonta Smith if that's Devonta Smith. Hey, thanks for the sub over there, K. Myers. Yeah, I would pick up Smith if that's Devonta Smith. I like Devonta Smith. Just not this week. The Chosen Rose. I don't know why in my head I wanted to say the Chosen Rosen. Shout out to Josh Rosen for helping the Patriots D. Hey, I didn't start the Patriots D. I should have. But I mean, I didn't have them on my team. But my co-host, Badaki, had them on his bench. And he started Young Hoku. So could you imagine that pain? Sitting the Patriots defense. Starting Young Hoku on Thursday. So you actually have -1 points going into the weekend. and you got 28 points on your bench. That's what we call pain. I started Nick Folk in Patriots defense for 42 points. Killing it, bro. Absolutely killing it. Keenan Fleming, what's up? Start Tua, Chubb, Stevenson, Higgins, Godwin, Fryer, and Wilson Jr. Should I replace Higgins with Bateman? No, you go Higgins there. I like Bateman this week, and I'm good to start Bateman this week. But I think you got to ride Higgins. Higgins has the more secure quarterback position right now. And obviously, if Lamar plays, I still go Higgins, but we just don't know what's going on with Lamar's injury right now. So I'm going to go Higgins. I like the matchup too. Haas, what's up, Haas? Would you trade Swift, Keenan, and D-Hop for Najee, Terry, Marquise Brown, and Ayuk instead? Would you trade Swift, Keenan, and D-Hop for Najee? Thanks for the sub, Chris, or Colin. Colin Gordon, appreciate that. Swift, Keenan, and D-Hop for Najee, Terry, Marquise Brown, and Ayuk. No, I wouldn't do that. I like Najee. I really like Najee. But Terry doesn't have an amazing playoff schedule. Like, his schedule is pretty hard in the playoffs. I love Hollywood, but no, I wouldn't make that page. P.S. I had to hit you with the sub on YouTube, too. I like your advice. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. K. Meyer. Hey, man, I don't know who to flex in half PPR between Pittman, DJ Moore, Waddle, and Devonta Smith. They're all on my team, but just saying who should I flex? My starting wide receivers are Tyreek and A.J. Brown. Well, it's good that it sounds like you have a really strong squad. Pittman is someone I'm actually going to avoid this week. And because of the talent, he could still have a very good week. But matchup says you sit Michael Pittman if you have all the options that you have. All the options that you've given me. Logic would say you sit Michael Pittman going up against Buffalo, one of the best defenses, probably going to be shadowed by Tre'Davious White. DJ Moore is interesting. My heart is actually going to lean towards Jalen Waddle here. He's going up against the Jets. So, yeah, I would. I know this is probably going to sound crazy, but I would start Jalen Waddle out of all the options. I like DJ Moore, but as much as we're hyping up Cam, and I think he's a good start this week, there were throws that he made last week that weren't on the highlight reel where it was simple slant routes and he couldn't hit them. So I still like Cam this week, but I need to see DJ Moore with Cam for a full week. You know, I like Waddle. I like the connection with Tua, and it should be a good game for them against the Jets. I hope that helps. We have any questions on Twitch that I missed? I am benching A.J. Brown this week. Looking for a big Lamb game. Thoughts on Hunt as my fourth RB? Honestly, Epic, it sounds like your team is absolutely stacked, my guy. It sounds like you have a really, really good squad. Colin, what's up, Mike G? Thanks for subscribing. Trade Amari Cooper and Michael Carter for CD. Colin, this is actually really heavily going to depend on your team needs. Who is Michael Carter to you? Is he just someone on your bench? Is he just going to stay on your bench? If you're not going to use Michael Carter again, I'm okay with it. But if Michael Carter is someone that you could flex or use as an RB2, that's where I'm a little bit more hesitant. So if Michael Carter is a nobody to you and you don't need him on your team and he's never going to start for you, yes, I would do that trade. Marty Sadema. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I traded Damian Harris for OBJ. Thoughts? My initial thoughts are that we won't know until 3 weeks from now if you got the good or bad end of that trade. Damian Harris looks like he's in a timeshare now with Stevenson. So initially people are going to tell you that you lost this trade. Everything depends on how OBJ looks with Stafford after the bye week. So this is a big risk that you took, but it could pay off for you. And I imagine that Damian Harris is probably expendable and you needed help at wide receiver. So it's going to take time to really know. I don't hate it. K. Meyer, thanks, man. I went wide receiver heavy in the draft with CMC first pick. Got Jeff Wilson as my RB2 this week. Jeff's a good play with Mitchell out. You know what's crazy? Like, why were people even insinuating that Wilson could play after he broke his finger? That makes no sense to me. You need your fingers. You need your fingers to play football, and you especially need them to keep a grip on the ball. Chris Godwin last year, had that finger injury, was out 3 weeks. Russell Wilson, different because he throws the ball. But I don't know why anyone thought that Mitchell was going to be able to play. Marty was also offered Tyler Lockett for Mike Williams. Should I take that? I would actually prefer Tyler Lockett. I know it sounds crazy, but their schedule's pretty good, and these are very similar players. They're both boom or bust. I just prefer Tyler Lockett because I've seen it for a longer period of time, and I still believe in Russell Wilson. So that's a close one. You could go either way, and I can't promise you what's going to happen, but what I would do is I would stick with Lockett. Keenan says, thanks, man. Love the channel. It's helped me turn my season around. I love to hear that. That's actually like the most rewarding thing about what we do is with the podcast that we have and Discord and YouTube and Twitch. We love hearing about how we've helped people. It was awesome last year because last year was the first year we did it, and it was awesome to see how many people we helped win championships and stuff. Michael Carter is my running back 4. I'm okay with that then, Colin. I'm okay with that. Sounds like you're not relying on him. I'm just going to quickly check Twitch. Also holding King Henry just in case they rush him and give my playoffs wins. Yeah, King Henry, if you can pop him on your IR, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with popping Henry on your IR. It can't hurt you at all. Midnight 201. Any trades you regret this season? Trades I regret this season? Yes. There was a trade I did right before week 1 where essentially I sent Julio Jones off. I sent DJ Moore off my team to get Julio Jones. I really thought Julio was going to start strong. I thought they wanted to show people why they got him. Thanks for the follow, Fireman. So that is one that I regret. I mean, look, at this point, like DJ's been so up and down, but he would have helped me win a lot of games in that league. But a lot of trades I made a trade on, so I'm in like 10 leagues on Sleeper, and we have follower leagues, and we play with some of the people through Patreon in follower leagues. And there was a trade that someone sent me. I had been sending dynasty trades all day, and someone sent me a trade. I looked at it, and I thought, wow, this is a great trade for dynasty. So I hit accept instantly, only to realize that it was a redraft league. So I think it was like I got Javonte Williams for James Robinson or something. And I was like, hell yeah, because I love Javonte Williams in Dynasty. And then I was like, oh shit, this is redraft. It's just like a fuck my life. So yeah, that was something that I regretted as well. All right, guys, I'm going to keep answering your questions over here on YouTube and Twitch. Drop a like if you haven't, sub, follow, whatever you need to do. Over here on Twitch, Fireman, Smith or Mooney? Fireman, I'm assuming this is Devonta Smith. If you could please just clarify for me if this is Devonta Smith that you're asking about. Devonta Smith really worries me, man, against New Orleans. I know a lot of people aren't on the same page with me there, but Devonta Smith genuinely frightens me because I don't see why Marshawn Lattimore wouldn't cover him the entire game. That's typically not good. And I still don't see Jalen Hurts as an accurate quarterback, and the volume's not there. I mean, he had 6 targets last week and 4 catches, 2 of them for touchdowns. That's not something that you can rely on. So I'm actually going to go Mooney. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what's going to happen. But that's what I would do if I was you. Okay? I hope that helps. I don't know how you have helped. Epic says, I don't know how you have helped my trades because I watch like 30 podcasts. But my team is so good from watching these. And I watch this a lot. Anyways, I got to go. Adios. Hey, bro, I appreciate that. Big love, Epic. Have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you. I hope that helps, Fireman. Over here on YouTube, Alejandro, what's up, my guy? Oh, you said the same thing. Hey. How you doing? Would you start Ingram or Jeff Wilson? How you doing? Keep it moving. Anybody else watch the Pat McAfee show? Probably the best show around right now. I don't think there's a better show on YouTube or in anything that you could stream than Pat McAfee show. He's just real. He's just himself. I love him. How you doing? Keep moving. Ingram or Jeff Wilson? I think with that's a very, very good question because Ingram looks to be the guy, and it looks like he's getting the work in the passing game as well. Hey, thanks for the follow over there, Stanley, on Twitch. I'm going Mark Ingram here. This is genuinely a toss-up. Jeff Wilson goes up against Jacksonville. It wouldn't surprise me if Jeff Wilson goes out 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. That wouldn't surprise me. But I just don't know that he gets involved in the passing game. So I think Ingram does get involved in the passing game. That's why I feel like he has a safer floor. And also, he's facing a defense that gives up a lot of points to running backs as well. Last week, 85% of snaps. He had 7 targets, guys. Mark Ingram had 7 targets last week. Tony Jones is back, but I think they trust Ingram more. So I'm gonna lean Ingram, but that's a really tough one, man. I can see where your concern is. Timothy, full PPR. Beasley, Arnold, or Watkins? That's a good one, man. Beasley's had such a strange season for fantasy because you almost never start him at the right time. You know what I mean? And how did he only play 16% of snaps last week? That is concerning. I know they played the Jets and they probably didn't need him, but 16% of snaps? And his snap percentage over the year is so up and down, man. I think Arnold is a safer play this week. I actually think Arnold is who I would choose. People are going to say that's crazy. That's okay. We got a question on Twitch here. First time viewer. Stanley, what's up, my guy? Hey, Stanley, should I trade Kamara for Swift? Worried about Kamara's knee rest of season. Yeah, I would do that trade. Especially if you need wins right now. You know what I mean? Like, if you need to win right now, Kamara can't help you do that. And who knows how long he's going to be out for, because he came back to practice with this knee injury and he didn't practice again. That is always concerning. If a player comes back to practice and then the next day they don't practice, that should be red flags. So, yeah. And I think you can get Swift and a piece, to be honest, for Kamara. Yeah, I would do that, Stanley, if I were you, especially for fighting for the playoffs. Keenan, what's up, my guy? I hear a lot of Cam Newton hype. Is Tua the better choice over Cam? I think Tua is a better choice over Cam. Cam is one of my starts of the week, which I do on YouTube. I release a video. I can't believe I'm just laughing that this is where we are. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about Tua or Cam Newton. I think I would start Cam Newton. I know I just flip-flopped, but Washington's defense, I'm a Washington fan. We've been really bad all year. And even though we've figured a couple of things out, we also just lost Chase Young. And Montez Sweat broke his jaw a couple weeks ago. So this crazy defensive line that we have is not been it won't be as good. So I would lean Cam Newton, and the one thing that puts me over the edge is what Cam can do on the goal line. Like, if Miami and Carolina are on the goal line, Cam could rush him for 2 touchdowns, but Tua doesn't have that upside. Do you know what I mean? I just can't believe this is where we are, talking about Cam Newton and Tua. That's funny. It's a real place. What's up, Chase? Howdy. Gibson or Barkley, PPR? Man, that's tough. That is really, really tough. Is Saquon officially cleared to play? Saquon officially questionable. Yeah, man, that worries me. I mean, unless you get clarity that he's going to play. I mean, he's playing the Bucs as well. You have to go Gibson. You can't sit Gibson and he gets 10 points or something on the bench and then Saquon doesn't play. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just not something that you can do. You can't take that risk. So I would go Gibson, but it's close. It's rough out here at quarterback. Appreciate it. I can see it's rough, man. That's a real world. I feel you. If I'm making 2 and don't. Stanley, I would still try and flip Kamara at this point. And Swift, let's not undervalue Swift, to be honest. Deandre Swift right now on the year, he's the running back 5 in PPR. The amount of targets that Deandre Swift is at. Let me do some quick math for you guys, because I think we hear the name Swift and we undervalue him because he's on the Lions. But he has been getting elite production. Okay. So he's getting 7 targets a game right now. 7 to 8 targets a game. I mean, he's on pace to get like 120 targets this year. So Swift is and his playoff schedule isn't bad. I mean, Arizona's not great, but then Atlanta and Seattle, come on. Swift can do something against those guys. So, yeah, I would avoid this uncertainty of Kamara. It does worry me, man. Again, you never want to see someone come back from an injury and then get put back on injury report. Like, come back to practice after an injury, but then you don't practice. It's a red flag. Eden, what's up, my guy? Man, I like that last name. Ontiveros. Let me know if I'm saying that right. Start 2, Bateman, Locket, Jeff Wilson, Ayuk. I like Bateman this week. With Hollywood out, he's going to be good. And I would honestly go, if this is a PPR league, let me know if it's not PPR. But if it's PPR, you go Bateman and Lockett here. Those are the 2 guys that you start. Chase, wish I knew if Barkley was good to go Monday. I feel you, man. That's pain. Hopefully we get news in the next, what? You guys are probably going to go to sleep over there in America. So hopefully we get news in the next 12 hours and we can figure that out. But it's hard because you want to rely on him. But even against Tampa Bay, it's not like it's a smash matchup. So you do have to proceed with caution. Should I start Michael Carter or Swift? You got to go Swifty. Can't sit Swifty. Swift is against Cleveland. I know it's a good defense, but he is guaranteed to get a lot of work. I mean, this dude got, 30 touches last week, something like that. I like Michael Carter, though. I still think Michael Carter is valuable in PPR formats. All right, guys, keep dropping your questions over here on Twitch and YouTube. I'm happy to answer them. I'm going to go live for at least an hour. It's awesome that we have 215 followers over there on Twitch. We're trying to get Twitch affiliate. I mean, we have Twitch affiliate. We just can't set it up because we don't have a business tax number yet. It's just takes so long to get, and it's not convenient. We filed it like 2 months ago. Apparently it takes 3 months. But 11 people watching. Drop any questions that you have. Joey Bosa expected to play week 11. That's big because he got tested positive beginning of the week. That's massive that he was able to come back from that. Hollywood Brown, that really hurts a lot of people. The fact that he's out, that hurts a lot of people. And I'm very interested to see Clyde's workload. I've been talking to Badaki pretty much since Darryl took the job, and I've been saying, man, it wouldn't surprise me if Darrell Williams ends up being the more valuable fantasy running back even when Clyde is back. Now, we could watch this game, and it could be Clyde from day one. Like, they could just give it to Clyde. But I would argue that Darrell is the more efficient running back for this offense. I feel like he suits what they need better. So, we'll see. I'm interested. That's a storyline I really, really want to see. I traded Kamara, Ingram, and Waddle for Swift, Carter, and Smith. I traded Kamara, Ingram, the little backfield there, and Waddle for Swift, Carter, and I'm assuming that's Devonta Smith. The only reason I'm hesitant on this one, I love Swift. I like Michael Carter. And if these are guys that you're going to start, then that's worth it. The only reason I'm hesitant is because I really like Jalen Waddle. I really, really like Jalen Waddle. And I think his rest of the season schedule is very good. And his connection with Tua, I mean, we could be sitting on a gold mine with Jalen Waddle. So that's the only reason I'm hesitant there. Over here on YouTube, do you like Swift's playoff schedule? Let's have a look at Swift's playoff schedule, why don't we? Where are you, Swifty? Let's have a look at your playoff schedule. So in the playoffs, Deandre Swift has Arizona week 1. But after that, it's Atlanta, Seattle, Green Bay. If you're going to week 18, most people probably wouldn't. So week 15, like the first week of playoffs, not so good. But the Lions are always going to be in a negative game script, and he's always going to get opportunities on the ground. or through the air, excuse me. But after that, Atlanta, Seattle, he can definitely put up 20-point games against Atlanta and Seattle. So yeah, I like his schedule relatively in the playoffs. Jags fan, what's up, my guy? Thanks for the comment. Trying to trade Devonta Smith and Cortland Sutton for Hollywood Brown while he's hurt. Made playoffs. What do you think? I love it, man. I love it. Devonta Smith, I think, is very talented. Hey, thanks for the sub, Jeffrey Mason. Love Devonta Smith's talent. Don't love his quarterback situation. I am not a Jalen Hurts hater, but I will continue to say this. If Gardner Minshew was a quarterback, Devonta Smith would probably be he would finish top 15. I just think that would happen because of the talent, because of the targets. But because it's Jalen Hurts, he's not as accurate as most quarterbacks. But that's okay because what he lacks in accuracy, he gains in athleticism. So, yeah, I would be looking to trade Devonta Smith off of the high game, definitely. And you need to do that before this next game because I don't think it's going to be a good one. And Sutton is, man, who can honestly say to themselves that they feel comfortable starting him right now? Love Hollywood Brown. And also Keenan or Godwin rest of the season. I would go Keenan. It's close, but I would go Keenan there. I love Keenan's schedule. He has such a good schedule upcoming. And he's been so consistent. Keenan says, I'm sure you've already mentioned this before, but how did y'all come up with fantasy football land? Well, it's actually fantasy land football. And, well, when COVID started, I lost my job. This is back in March of 2020. I lost my job in COVID. My co-host lost my job, Benaki, who does this with me. And we both applied for like hundreds of jobs. No one replied to us. So we said, fuck it. Like, what do we want to actually do with our lives? This is what we wanted to do. We love talking fantasy and we could do it forever. We're like, let's start a fantasy football channel. Let's start a podcast. Let's start YouTube. And we did YouTube completely wrong for the first year, but we're doing it right this year, I think. And it's been awesome. And how the name came about, if that's what you're asking, we've had a league that's been going for like a decade, and we called it Fantasyland. That was the name of the league. And when we were coming up with names, we were like, surely Fantasyland's taken, And then we looked at all the different platforms, and it was available. So we were like, well, hell yeah, let's call it Fantasyland Football. So that's kind of how it started. And yeah, it's definitely a dream of ours to make this what we do full time. I mean, we technically do it full time and we just work our second jobs. But if you guys want to support us, there's a link in the description, patreon.com/fantasylandfam. There's ways to just support the show for a small fee. There's ways to get advice through the fantasy hotline, which is a direct line to us for advice through Discord. And you support the show. And then next year we'll open up follower leagues again because we have about 4 follower leagues where people support us and we play fantasy with them. But yeah, I love what we get to do here. Haas, do you think CMC is going to stay healthy and effective throughout the fantasy this schedule is this is a good question, Haas. This is a very good schedule because CMC's schedule in the playoffs is not favorable. But it's CMC. So if he stays healthy, you start him and you don't worry about it. In the playoffs, he's got Buffalo, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. And then Tampa Bay again if you play Week 18. That's probably the worst schedule for any running back, but it's CMC. Will he stay healthy? I don't know, man. Like, to me, it's 50%. It's 50-50 because the hamstring is so easily re-aggravated. And you could see that with Julio. He's older, but I feel like it's a 50% chance that he stays healthy. It's really, really hard to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just my worries. Jeff Mason, PPR injuries to Henry, Patterson, and Hollywood got me down bad. I feel you, bro. Pour one out for your boy. And I'm struggling. I need 2. Gallup, assuming this is Devonta Smith, Tony, Pollard, Corey Davis, Rondale Moore. So it's PPR. Gallup is the clear one from this group for me. And after that, I think I would go Corey Davis against Miami. I am so, like, someone asked beforehand, Corey Davis or Tony Pollard. Or, sorry, Corey Davis or Kadarius Toney. And it is such a toss-up. I just don't know what it's going to look like if Saquon's back and Evan Ingram and Slayton and Shepard and Galladay. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but if it was me, Gallup's the clear one to start, and then I would go Corey Davis as well. When would you be comfortable starting CEH again? I would prefer to wait this week and see what it looks like, because I think Darryl could have taken the job, but I would prefer to wait and see what it looks like this week. And then next week, or sorry, they have a bye, but the week afterwards, like if it's clear that Clyde has a job, then I would be comfortable starting him after that. You kind of want what happened with David Montgomery when he came back. Oh, well, it was before the bye week, but he's clearly the guy, so you have confidence to start him now. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Jace. What's up, Jace? Badouin. Is that how you say your last name? Badouin. Should I start Michael Carter, Jeff Wilson, or Mark Ingram for flex full PPR? Full PPR is big there. Michael Carter's interesting, man. Versus Miami, I envision a lot of dump-offs. Like, Ty Montgomery and Michael Carter could be good starters. Joe Flacco's in the game. He can recognize blitz way better than Mike White can. I think I would go Michael Carter there. I think I would slightly lean Michael Carter. I don't think the Jets are going to have a good game, but Michael Carter could get 10 catches. Like, that wouldn't be crazy. It's probably not going to happen, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't surprise me. So I would slightly lean Michael Carter there. Ingram's interesting. The only reason I'm not smash starting Ingram there is because Tony Jones is off. I still like Ingram as a start, but I would start Carter over him. Would I, though? Yeah, I just don't know what Tony Jones is going to do. Yeah, I don't know what Tony Jones' involvement's going to be. Do you know what I mean? That gives me hesitation. I hope that helps. And I'm starting Michael Carter in a league. So that's what I would do. Choose 2 of 5, full PPR. Higgins, Bateman, Tony, Mooney, Claypool, Tony. I'm going to go Tony and Tony. No, jokes. I know that was an accident. Higgins and Bateman. Yeah, Higgins and Bateman. That's what I would do. Higgins has been undervalued because of Chase. He's still getting the targets. Boyd is the odd man out. And Bateman looks like he's going to have a good game with Hollywood out. Wahab Ali. Who do you think I should trade Mixon or Fournette for? I have Chase and Mclaurin as my reliable receivers, and I have Mike Will on the bench with Elijah Moore. Hey, that's interesting. It's hard for me to give you exact names, and the reason is because everyone views players differently. So I could tell you to go trade for this person, and someone could say, no, I don't want that, or they could see it as a steal, and you could have got more value. So I would start by putting Mixon and Fournette on the trade block and just seeing what you get in return. But both of these guys are guys that I'm fine to ride out for the rest of the season. If you can flip, let's say, Fournette and Mike Williams for like a Zeke or a JT or like a Devontae Adams. Do you know what I'm coming at? Like Devontae Adams, a Tyreek. I would do that, but I'm okay to ride them as well. I hope you get where I'm coming from there. All right, guys, drop any questions that you have. Got some people watching, but no questions right now. I've been live for, an hour now. I'll be live as long as you need me to. But shout out to everyone who has subscribed, who's followed. Really, really appreciate you guys. My throat is hurting, dog. I should have got some water before. Damn, that's unlucky. Let's see. Gator says the tough thing with CEH is that he's just getting back this week and this next week is my trade deadline. Yeah. Nothing you can do about that, though. Yeah, that is a tough position, man. Nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. You just, like, in your position, you just have to hope that Clyde's the guy and it's clear. Like, Montgomery didn't have an amazing game before his bye, but it was clear that he was getting the work. So that's what you want to hope for at the minimum. You know what I mean? So, thoughts on picking up Jeff Wilson? I think he should be rostered in every 12-man league. There's not a 12-man league where he shouldn't be rostered. He's a guy, if Mitchell misses more time, he's going to be a good start for however long that is. So, I definitely like picking him up. Oh, man. I'm really interested to see how this Antonio Brown injury plays out. It's such an interesting injury. Do you guys think that Antonio Brown got the fake fax card? Or do you think that was all cap? Because I don't really know. Oh, and the Chris Carson news is devastating if you've been holding on to him. That is just devastating if you've been holding on to Chris Carson. Man, that sucks. I really want to see a breakout from Rashad Bateman this week, guys. This is the week it could happen. If Lamar's himself. And another thing is Aaron Rodgers going to be fine with this toe injury? Let's not forget how bad Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl. Even when Mitchell's back, when Mitchell's back, it's Mitchell's backfield. I think we've seen that. So no, he won't carry as much value, but he's like a handcuff. You would always roster Chuba Hubbard in case CMC gets injured. So I would always have Wilson rostered in case Mitchell if this is a serious injury or if it becomes more serious. Anybody watch Formula One here? Because I really need Max Verstappen to pick it up. Well, actually, it's not even his fault. Mercedes just looks insane. Just dropped Ridley and Carson, picked up Mooney, and have a waiver in for Jeff Wilson. Yeah, Ridley's hard, man. Ridley's really tough. He's on... His schedule is that he's going to miss at least one more game confirmed. I'll be honest, though. If Ridley was on the waiver wire in any of my leagues, I'd pick him up. Because I just want to have him rostered in case anything happens. I don't think anything's going to happen, but I just want to have him rostered. No, please don't say breakout for Bateman. I don't need another loss. Oh, man. Bateman is someone that on the podcast I've tried to tell people to buy in Dynasty, and I hope people were able to make trades for him because he was going so cheap. He was going so cheap in Dynasty. If you missed it, you probably missed your chance because he's proven that he's a very, very big talent. Let's see. Someone in one of our follow leagues put a player on the trade block. Damian Harris. Put him on the trade block. If you guys have questions, drop them. I'm just chilling. I'm gonna chill. If there's no more questions, I'm gonna hop off, get some lunch. It's 1 p.m. here in Sydney, Australia, above. My throat is killing me. Should I try to ship out Claypool with the Big Ben issues? Yeah, you should. I don't know what you can get for him, honestly. But Claypool, it's not that he's not talented. It's that his play style doesn't suit Big Ben at all. I said this on the podcast, but Big Ben is in a... Did anybody watch the game against the Bears 2 weeks ago? Did you see that long bomb Big Ben threw? Like, he full on went like 3 step backs and put as much effort as he could, as much power he could into that throw. And it went like 30 yards down the field and underthrew his target. Somehow it was caught, but the issue is that Claypool's play style is very much 1-and-1 down the ball or down the field, one-on-one opportunities. And Big Ben is not accurate anymore down the field, and he doesn't have the arm to throw it down the field. So only Deontay is really valuable right now. because Ben outside of screens and slants is not reliable. And just chucking it up to Pat Fryermuth. That also hurts Claypool. The fact that in the red zone, Fryermuth is such a weapon. So yeah, package him and Clyde and see what you can get. It's definitely something that I would be willing to do personally if I were you. Cut one rest of season. Claypool, Mooney, or Tony. Maybe Claypool, to be honest, but I don't want to cut any of them. Man, I think I would probably cut Claypool because I really want to see what Tony's going to look like after the bye week. But at the same time, yeah, man, I just don't see Claypool having any consistency with how Big Ben currently looks. What's up, Patty? Pittman or Waddle? Or should I start both and bench Monty? Well, big question here is this a PPR league that you're playing in? But my instant reaction would be to sit Pittman. I know that sounds crazy. He's been great, but going up against Buffalo, I question whether he's going to be shadowed by Tre'Davious White or not. So I think I would start Waddle over Pittman. I know that sounds crazy, and I can't tell you what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball, but my thought process is Buffalo's one of the best. They are the best defense in the NFL right now. And it looks like Tre'Davious is going to be covering Pittman. So I would personally sit Michael Pittman and start Monty and Waddle. That's what I would do. It doesn't feel like it's a good game script for him either. Bateman or Gallup tomorrow? That is a really tough question, Hector. Oh, that is a really tough one, man. Because Bateman, it could be a breakout game for Rashad Bateman with Hollywood out. But Gallup gets Kansas City. Oh, that is tough. Oh, my God, that is tough. That's really tough. I'll tell you what. If there's any reports that Lamar Jackson isn't feeling himself and that he is sick and he's going to play through it and he's not he feels unwell while he's playing, I'm going to go with Gallup. But if the reports come out that Lamar's fine, he's 100% himself, no worries with the sickness, then I would trust in the Bateman breakout, and I would take that risk. It is a risk, but that's what I would do. Gargle warm salt water for the sore throat. I will. When you talk for like an hour straight, your throat just gets destroyed. So, and I don't have any water. I might run and grab some water real quick if you guys have more questions. PPR. Oh, Matt says, bro, Hollywood being out is killing me. Yeah, I feel you, man. I have him in a dynasty league and it's painful. It's frustrating because he's been so good. It's frustrating. It is what it is. Patty, PPR, Monty, Locket, Carter, Pittman, flex. So you can only choose one? Holy shit. That is tough, bro. Wow. You must have a good team if these are all your options. So, Montgomery. Jesus Christ, man. This is really tough, bro. You put me in a spot here. And Locket as well. Locket is also an option for you. Who does Locket play? Okay, Locket plays the Cardinals. Jesus, man. I can promise you, Patty, that I'm going to get this question wrong. Look at me. I can promise you all these options are very, very close. And I can promise you I'm going to get this wrong. So I can only tell you what I would do, right? Because any one of these guys could pop off for a massive game. But they are all players who could also disappoint you this week. That's just the reality. So if it was me, you're 8-2. I just see that. I was going to say, if you need like a high upside, you're probably not projected to win, then I would throw Locket out there. But if you just need the safety, I would go Monty. So in short, I would go Montgomery. But Locket is the highest upside. But I would go Montgomery. He out of all the players here has the best chance to get into the end zone. Matt says, should I start Tony or McKissick? I'm out Hollywood, Kamara, Cordero, Mitchell. Man, can we all just drop an F in the chat for my boy? That's pain. Tony or McKissick? McKissick plays Carolina. Tony plays the Bucks on Monday night. So I would go Tony. I think Tony is probably the bigger risk, but I'm going to go Tony just because I just think he's too talented to not involve him after the bye week. Surely you figured out ways to involve Tony more. And he's healthy. Who are a couple running backs and wide receivers you are higher on based on strength of schedule? Monty is definitely one of those. He was on our trade targets. For a couple weeks from me. His rest of season schedule is very good, including the playoffs. For quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts has one of the best, if not the best, playoff schedule. So he's someone that I definitely look at. For running backs, Nick Chubb. And honestly, Gibson. After this week, Gibson's schedule is pretty good. For wide receivers, Jalen Waddle is someone that I've had as a trade target for a long time because of his rest of season schedule looks really good. Devonta Smith, after this week, it looks better. Chris Godwin has a really good rest of season schedule. Tight ends. There's not really any tight end that really stands out to me. But, guys, I've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes straight. Stay on if you want. But because there's no co-host, I'm going to grab a cup of water. Okay? My throat's hurting. So drop any questions. I'll be right back. Wow, no one left. Sorry, my throat hurt. All right, let's get back to it. Lucius. What's up, Lucius? Start 2 RBs and 1 flex. Miles Sanders, Clyde, Devonta Freeman, Alex Collins, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup. Oh, man, that is tough, Lucius. It's a standard league. I don't want Miles Sanders. I would go Devonta Freeman. Oh, you have to choose 2 of these running backs? God, that is painful. Who did the Eagles play? Because I don't really like Miles Sanders. Let me just double check. They play New Orleans. Yeah, no. You don't want to start him, especially in a standard league. This will be interesting to see how they use Miles Sanders. I don't love trusting Clyde just yet. I would go Devonta Freeman, and am I really going to start Alex Collins over Clyde? Like, that's something I'm really going to consider because I'm thinking about considering it right now. Clyde's versus Dallas. Alex Collins is versus Arizona. Yeah, I just don't know what Clyde's role is going to be. It's going to be disgusting, Lucius. I'm going to be honest with you. You should not watch any of these games. But I would go Devonta Freeman, Alex Collins, and then in my flex, I would go Brandon Cooks. I'm so sorry, man. That is tough. Patty, PPR, Kirk, Bateman, Corey Davis, or Tony, or Galladay. Can't trust Galladay or Tony with the options that you have. Kirk is interesting. But I think I would go Bateman here. I think he might be the bigger risk. So if you want more safety, you could go Davis. But let's not forget that the Dolphins have looked pretty good since they got Byron Jones and Xavier Howard back. So I think I would go Bateman there. It's close. Fireman, when do you think Ridley will come back? Sheesh, man, that's a really good question. You know what's crazy is we've never seen something like this in the NFL. We've never seen someone step away from mental health, and I applaud him for doing that. Your mental health is so much more important than football. So I have no idea. Does this say week 10? I just realized on Twitch that the title of this says week 10. That's hilarious. Oops. But to answer your question, it's to me the most likely scenario feels like he doesn't come back this year. Do you know what I mean? That feels like the most likely scenario. But even if there's a chance that he does, and I feel like he's going to be an important part of that offense straight away. But the thing with mental health is like you don't just take a couple weeks off and then you're like, all right, I'm good. Typically there needs to be some sort of change or revelation, or you know what I mean? So I think the most likely scenario is that he doesn't come back. Personally, I don't see him coming back. That's hard though. Bateman or Gallup in place of Keenan. It's a standard league and Keenan is almost useless in standard. I know it's crazy, man, but I would still go Keenan. You know, I know Keenan's much, much more valuable in PPR formats, but I trust his situation. And to be fair, like as much as he's been bad, he had 104 yards in week 9 and 98 yards in week 10. So he's still been better in both of those weeks than the best game from Bateman or Gallup. Do you know what I mean? So that one's really tough. I get where you're coming from, but I would still go Keenan. But man, Keenan does lose some value when it comes to standard formats. I agree. That's tough. All right, guys, ask any last-minute questions here. You got me for about 5 more minutes. Drop anything you got. And shout out to everyone who subscribed today. Appreciate y'all. Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. Thanks for the sub, my guy. Thanks for the sub. I got about 5 minutes left here on the stream. I've been live for almost an hour and a half. You want to know my favorite Looney Tunes character? Hey, that's a fun question. Man, I used to watch Looney Tunes every Saturday morning. Let me have a look. Because I don't want to say, like, Bugs Bunny, because he's not my favorite. And that would be lame to say that. Like, unless he's your favorite. That's fine. Man, there are so many good ones. I used to think the Tasmanian Devil was pretty crazy, but he's not my favorite. I just used to be intrigued. I would have to say the Roadrunner. Not even really like he doesn't have any words, but I just always found that funny as a kid. But to be fair, Elmer Fudd's, I mean, damn, there's so many funny ones. This is taking me back. I'm thinking about Saturday morning. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say the Roadrunner. That's probably not a good answer, but there you go. Hey, thanks for the follow. All right, Tarnver. I don't know how to say your name, but I have been live about an hour and a half. I'm going to go live for the next 5 minutes, so drop any questions you got. You got me for the next 5 minutes. Type it out, my guy. Type it out. Bateman or Elijah Moore? Thanks for joining us, Grizz Panther. Bateman or Elijah Moore? In all formats this week, I'm going Bateman. And Dynasty is interesting, though. If you're in a Dynasty league, Elijah Moore and Rashad Bateman both look pretty valuable, but I would lean Bateman in both scenarios. And this week, I'm starting Bateman over Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore's week last week wouldn't have looked good if it wasn't for a garbage time touchdown. And We can't not count that in fantasy. But yeah, I'm gonna go Bateman with Hollywood out. Thanks for the question, my brother. All right, pick 2 over here on Twitch. Mark Ingram, Michael Carter. Is this PPR, my guy? Michael Pittman, Jeff Wilson, Bateman, Gallup. Oof. Is this PPR? Tarnover? Let me know if this is PPR, brother, because that's going to be very important for you. Mark Ingram, Michael Carter, Michael Pittman, Jeff Wilson, Bateman, Gallup. Okay, here's my thought process. If it's PPR, then I want people who are going to get receptions. I love Michael Pittman. I love his talent. I don't love the matchup in Buffalo. I could be very wrong about Michael Pittman, but if you're asking me what I would do, then I would be probably sitting Michael Pittman this week, considering your other options. The talent is there, so he could score a touchdown, but Tre'Davious White's probably going to be covering him. I imagine this is a week where like we could see a touchdown from one of the tight ends in Indy. So saying that, I'm gonna mark him off. I'm gonna mark off Jeff Wilson as well if it's PPR. So now it's Mark Ingram, Michael Carter, Bateman, and Gallup. And I'm going to go Michael Carter and Rashad Bateman. That's what I would do. Michael Carter or Rashad Bateman. And the reason I'm choosing those over Gallup is I like Gallup and I love that Cooper's out. There's just a lot of talent on that team. So he could easily not be involved. But he could also have a great game. But Bateman and Michael Carter both feel more important to their teams. So it's a very, very tough question. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. That's just what I would do if I was in your position. Let's see on YouTube. Bateman or Elijah. Yep. Put one more question just above. Did you, Gator? I don't see it. I answered the strength of schedule one, if that's what you're talking about. Your favorite Looney Tunes character? I told you it was Roadrunner. What are you guys doing up right now? What time is it in America? Let's see. In New York. Oh, it's not even late at all. It's only 9. Anyway, I think that's all the questions. I'm going to do a little countdown. Got a minute to ask any last minute questions here, guys. Been live for about an hour and a half. So any last minutes? Any last minute questions? Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Appreciate the love, the subs, the likes, the follows. All right, last question. Your favorite Looney Tunes cartoon, not character. What the cartoon? Roadrunner. I don't understand. You're funny. Ask another strength of set, but with Higgins. I don't see it. I'm sorry, man. I don't see the question. If we're going to talk about Higgins' strength of schedule rest of season, if that's what you're going to talk about, we can talk about that. I don't see the question, though. Let's see. Where is Higgins? Let's look at his rest of season schedule. I think Higgins is going to be better rest of season than people give him credit for. So he's got the Raiders now. Let's actually look at. So there's not a game that I look at where I'm super worried. Like, yeah, next week isn't great versus Pittsburgh. It's not great versus Denver, but still, I think they're going to be competitive in those games, and I trust Joe Burrow. So I'm not going to trade away Higgins because I'm worried about his schedule. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good luck this week. I hope whatever you need to happen happens. And yeah, we'll see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard